with the acupoint meridians in Mary's ear, we're going to be determining where her areas of tenderness are. By palpation, I'm going to feel the areas of tenderness. And in this case, I'm going to ask you, Mary, which is the most tender? Is that the most tender right there?
Yeah, that's pretty tender.
Okay, that is specifically your knees. And as we mentioned earlier, Mary's knees are tender. So we'll go back here and we'll palpate. I don't know, we're in an area again, aren't we?
Yeah, that's real tender.
Yes. Do you have neck problems, Mary?
I get spasms, and I'm in pain almost a lot of the time, right through here where you had guessed it before, from here up.
See, I hadn't asked Mary this before. I hadn't asked her where her problems are. And we've discovered that her problems are through here, and I bet you there's a lot of tightness and spasming in her neck, because I'm right here at the base of her head down into her neck region, and it's just cramped up with the energy blockages. We go inside of her ear and palpate. There's a spot right there. That corresponds with the heart-stomach area, this part of her body. You got anything going on with your heart and stomach area?
I cramp every once in a while, but nothing that's all the time.
Nothing you're aware of yet?
No.
Okay. And I'm also palpating the back of her ear. Right in here, right back here. Feels tender, doesn't it? This corresponds...
Yeah,
right
there.
This corresponds with circulatory. So I think that Mary is going to find at some point that she has a circulation problem.
Right there. Yeah.
Yep, right there too. Okay. So when we find the areas that are blocked, the meridians that are blocked, those are energy blockages. It's like a dam on a river that's holding back the power of the river. These blockages are holding back the power of her personal energy to flow through the meridians. So we're going to unblock those using acupuncture. We also today are going to do acupuncture on her to stop smoking. It's going to reduce the anxiety that she has with smoking, and it's also going to balance out her meridians. So she should also eat well from this point on. It's going to reset her appetite to eat. It's going to reset her appetite for cigarettes, and she's not going to have the cravings or the anxiety associated with chronic cigarette smoking. Now she has a part to do too in that. She needs to make up her mind she's not going to smoke, and every place that she does things habitually, for instance, if she gets up and has cigarettes first thing in the morning, if she gets up and sits down and has coffee and a cigarette, she has to change that routine, because the habit can stimulate the meridian. So she has to change her habits. Psychologically, it can cause a stimulus. It's the same as when you drive by a McDonald's poster and you start to produce gastric juice and get hungry for McDonald's. Well, the habits will produce the same stimuli. So she has to change her habits. And if she does her part and we do our part, she'll be successful at stopping smoking. She'll finish cold turkey today. So I'm going to reach over here and get the acupuncture needles. We've already prepared her ear, cleaned it off.
I'm breaking out in a sweat. I don't know if it's the thought of the needles or what.
Now, I'm not going to say anything to Mary, but I'll ask her a question in just a minute. Okay, Mary, did I put it in yet?
I think so.
That's all. She's not sure. She thinks so. Did I put it in yet, Mary?
I didn't feel that.
She won't feel most of the needles that we put in. because of the way that we have developed a technique. It is almost painless. We can put a dozen needles in her ear and she'll barely feel one or two of them.
That one I felt.
You did feel that one?
Yeah.
Was it terrible?
No.
No, just mellow.
I didn't feel that.
I just put a needle into a point called the tranquility point. The tranquility point is actually a point which I named and discovered a number of years ago. It's official and it's in all of the books. I was in the research with auricular acupuncture starting in 1987. And we found a point that calms the body down. It's great. That one you felt, right?
Yeah.
That's 1 out of 6. It's not bad, 1 out of 6. The tranquility point calms the patient down. They feel calmer on the inside. And if they have a migraine, it's as if the migraine is happening to somebody else. It's there, but it just doesn't bother them. The tranquility point is one of the points that's similar to the anesthesia that they use, the kind of anesthesia that you can do surgery using acupuncture. But this point is not for using surgery. This point is to calm the central nervous system down. It's a wonderful point that we discovered. Now I'm going to do the ones for cigarette smoking. There we go. Doing all right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There we go. Now, I didn't pay you to say that these don't hurt, did I, Mary?
Nope. And I think I was jumping some because I could hear it right there, but there was only like 3 I could feel.
Mm-hmm.
But not badly.
We have 10 needles in Mary's ear, and she could only feel 3 of them. Normally we'd leave this patient for half an hour and let the needles work. Once a needle has balanced the body, just like a sliver or just like a cactus thorn, the body works its way out and they would eventually all fall out on their own. We'll be removing them in about a half an hour and placing a small silver BB, little tiny pure silver BB in her ear to continue the stimuli so that her body's balanced at all times. That's specifically for addictions and for cigarette smoking. So we thank you for joining us in this segment. And you can talk to Mary in the future and see how well she did with not smoking. Thank you.
Well, the date is
20th.
the 20th
Of November.
of November. And my goal was to stop smoking by Christmas. And maybe we've accomplished it today. We'll soon see.
Yes. It's also good to have others in your family cooperate with you to stop smoking. Ask them to stay outside so you don't smell the smoke. The stimulus of smelling the smoke can sometimes rekindle that peak of energetic activity. So what we want to do is to calm down that energetic excitement. If we could see a curve, we would see that as soon as you have a nicotine excitement, the curve would go up and then it would drop way down. And it would take a long time for the body to increase the energy again in the nicotine curve. So what your body does is it forages. It looks for the next cigarette. It forages. But what we do is calm that whole meridian excitement down. And then you won't be foraging and looking unconsciously to satisfy that high and low of the nicotine. And that's really how it works. And it works well. So we thank you for joining us again.
This is Porky. We'll see you next time.